SatAm episode 1 Heads or Tails. Thankfully all of these episodes are up on YouTube so I can review them. So Chuck started out with his lighter blue color scheme in this show. I thought it was just the later comic under Flynn that made him more gray, but this was how he was supposed to look. The guy singing the intro song sounds lame to me for some reason. We start out seeing Robotropolis, and there's this spaceship with Robotnik riding in it. He pets a badnik clucker, saying he misses the beauty of this place when he's away. Again, I really don't understand how he could find this place beautiful, other than being totally insane, but it's really sweet of him to pet anything. I wouldn't expect that of him. He tells Snively to shut up for no reason, and Clucker just clucks. Good, it looks like they don't have badniks talk. That would be stupid. They are animal robots after all. His voice is creepy. I didn't expect Snively to sound the way he did. He's like a high-pitched Igor. The first person we see on the Freedom Fighters isn't Sonic, it's Tails, who is picking flowers for Sally. That's sweet. Does smelling flowers really run the risk of you sneezing? We see him being comedy relief as he sneezes himself into a tree, and then he cowardly runs away from a flying buzz bomber. It's always weird to see him like this in the media. Rotor has a really goofy voice looking through stuff. And Sonic shows up playing electric guitar, with his voice desperately trying to make him sound as cool as possible when it's way too nasally and high-pitched. I hate Jaleel Whitt as Sonic. How is he playing that guitar when it's not hooked up to his speaker or something? It must be a magic guitar. Either that or some sort of wireless electric guitar like Rotor made it? Rotor points out that Sally wouldn't appreciate rock music like that because it's too heavy. What, was rock music not that popular among the mainstream of the 90s? Anyways, Sonic has to rescue Tails from a buzz bomber that shoots lasers, making it more intimidating. And apparently Sonic can actually see Eggman's flying cameras, when you'd think that he would make them invisible with a cloaking device. And one of the cameras has a creepy red, realistic looking eye. That's creepy. Sonic pretends he's scared of Eggman briefly at the end of his intimidating generic speech, asking if they should hold their breath. That's a pretty tame, sarcastic line. And he doesn't... Honestly, I prefer Fleetway Sonic already, aside from the Tails bullying. He's way better at the snarky lines. This Sonic is just smug, and that's his thing. But he's not really good at the sarcasm. It's cute seeing Tails in his backpack. It's also cute seeing Sonic tease Tails that he won't ride with him, and then he does anyways, as they ride through the Great Oak Tree Slide. I really hope they establish somewhere, like if not in this episode, that knothole surrounded by a deep chasm or something, to explain why going through a Great Oak Slide is the only way to get to it, like aside from the obvious flying to it through a helicopter. Yee, Shanchuan's way more forceful with his flirting. He literally kisses her hand when they're not dating. Also, I can't understand what he and Bunny are saying here because of their accents. I hate a lack of subtitles. Sally says to Sonic that he's not helping them. Really? I have a hard time believing that. Why the fuck doesn't Sonic just tell her, "I saved Tails, you idiot"? This is reminding me of when Sally nagged Scourge that Sonic hadn't ran around to make all the landmines explode. And that made sense there because Sonic had been replaced by Scourge, and so of course he couldn't have done it. I at least like that she asked if there's an echo in here, reminding me of a line by Fleetway Sonic. Is there a high-pitched echo in here? Sonic goes to the Lake of Rings, and it turns out that only he can use the rings that come from there. Then Sonic says that his Uncle Chuck invented them when we just saw them come from a Lake of Rings, so Uncle Chuck must have put the ring generator in there instead of Nate, fortunately. That is why it comes from the lake? So apparently all rings ever in this universe were in fact made by Chuck and are not a naturally occurring part of every zone. Alright, it is a different universe after all. I'm not sure why they can only work for Sonic, other than trying to make sure no one will abuse them. I guess they detect his DNA to find out with Sonic? Tails briefly shows anger issues, as he says he hates Robotnik and then he seems to attack a tree. Like, that's interesting. Why is Tails even briefly surprised when Sonic warns him that SWAT bots are all over Robotropolis planning to roboticize him? I mean, that seems like someone everyone in this universe would already know. He goes into Sonic's backpack, and Sonic runs off on a mission. This version of Sonic is always smugly smiling. They emerge from a dumpster in Robotropolis where it's actually raining. Huh, like, we never really see that in the comic. I guess because it can be portrayed a lot better on a TV show. It adds well to the grim atmosphere. Tails sneezes, which made me wonder if that would get them in huge trouble, but no, it doesn't. Sonic finds a metal thing, and apparently this is the first time Tails has ever seen Robians. Seriously, was he born yesterday? Sonic and Tails have a softie moment because they look at a picture of Mutski and Chuck after Tails asks to look at it again. Ugh, Sonic, you idiot! Why would you think that Mutski wouldn't hurt you? He's a robot! That's so delusional. Doesn't he know how Robians work by this point? I at least like that he says he put him through 4 years of dog school. For some reason, the robot Mutski is tamed extremely easily just because Sonic talks to him. He sits and looks sad. That doesn't make any sense at all. The comic handled this way better. Oh, Mutski only temporarily became good. That's still really confusing. Why would he ever be programmed that this could happen? I don't remember Sonic throwing something at his head or anything. Sonic pretends to fall asleep standing up, being approached by SWAT bots, and then he runs around avoiding it. He finds himself in a pitch black air vent, and after he shows overconfidence, they start to fall. Is this going to be a running theme throughout the show? Surprisingly, Sonic slows his fall to a stop because he stretches his legs out. Sonic and Tails coincidentally are in the air vent right above Robotnik as he's planning to send an army of robots to destroy the trees of the Great Forest, rather than using a nuke or using a giant missile. And to use a hedgehog-seeking missile as a countdown for some reason, rather than him just using it right away. Tails sneezes again, which I hope Robotnik heard because it'd be stupid otherwise, and then they all fall out of the vent. After Sonic taunts him being held in the SWAT-bot's arms, he sarcastically says he'd really like to get to know him, and then he spins his feet behind him, which somehow lets him escape its grip. I have no idea how that works. Then he uses a ring to enhance his super speed, letting him run past the robots. So, does he need rings to run at the speed of sound, and otherwise he just runs unusually fast, but not that fast? I mean, I would imagine that he would be able to go this fast naturally. Seriously, am I really expected to believe Sally when she says Sonic doesn't help out? Sonic's the hero of Mobius, the main character. He has Sonic speed. God, she's so annoying. She's at least worried about Sonic and Tails. And Bunny stands up for Sonic, saying that's just who he is. I mean, it just makes sense. She's kind of similar to him, aside from acting smug. Sonic tells everyone about Eggman's plan, and they prepare for it, with Tails being the lookout with binoculars on the top of a tree getting to be useful. Sonic comes up with a plan. The Buzz Bombers hate him, so they'll follow him inside of the catapult range. It's good that Sonic gets to make the plan instead, because I'm really annoyed with Sally in this episode. So Sonic is flung by the catapult so he can throw water balloons at the Buzz Bomber. Which, I guess they're not immune to water? Wait, I hope this is located outside of Knothole, or I have to wonder how Eggman doesn't know where Knothole is, and has already destroyed it in the middle of the night, when it clearly has camera footage of Knothole. Sonic taunts the robot, and then he rides the hedgehog-seeking missile, which seems to be alive as it responds to his whistle. Why would Eggman bother programming a missile to be alive and be able to move? He jumps onto the Buzz Bomber so that the missile could hit him, jumps off, and then Sally starts telling people to fire the catapults, being the leader. Wow, Tails' acting when he calls for help from Sonic is really pathetically stilted. That was bad. Anyways, the Buzz Bombers are all killed by water balloons, or paint balloons, I guess. That's a very creative way to have robots destroyed. Much better than them being destroyed by Sonic's spin attack. Wait, did they get killed, or did they just fly away? And the story ends with Sally and Sonic walking into the distance, with Sonic being overconfident. Alright, so what happened was that Sonic and Tails go to Robotropolis and find out Eggman's plan, with Tails doing absolutely nothing of use, which I'm worried is going to be the whole point of his character. To be a cute character that's more relatable than Sonic because he's a normal kid. At least his little brother, big brother dynamic is most obvious in this show. And Eggman's plan is pretty generic, just an attempt to destroy the tree's hiding knothole and threaten Sonic with a guided missile. I can imagine he would be trying those plans all the time anyways, because that'd be the basic common sense thing of him to do in his position. Try to destroy the home of his enemies and his biggest threat. I really like that the robots at the end were defeated in a creative way thanks to catapults sending colorful stuff at them. It was really confusing that Mutsky very briefly got his free will back around Sonic. That was so stupid. The comic did it a lot better because he only got it back when Chuck reprogrammed him. Maybe if Sonic had waved the sort of acorns in his face I could have bought it, but still, it wouldn't be temporary. Though it was a good moment seeing Sonic and Tails' sympathetic soft side to see that they missed Mutsky and Chuck. And I found Sally really annoying in this story, or episode rather. She's constantly dismissing Sonic's contribution to the team as non-existent when he's the main character and the most competent of all the Freedom Fighters because of his super speed and spin attack. She's the most genre blind in the group, and she doesn't look right at all. There's no indication that Sonic does have a history of being useless and not helping in the group. I can understand the idea that he's just doing his own thing having fun, since he acts like reckless and careless, but she's reminding me how Sonic was treated in Other M by the alternate dimension versions of the Freedom Fighters, dismissing him as useless and never helping. I mean, she doesn't say he never helps, but it just seems really out of character in retrospect that she would be this much of a bitch. Normally I like Sally since she's such a deep character, but here she's just rude to Sonic for no good reason, not respecting him at all until the end. Also, Buddy the badass cyborg doesn't get to do anything useful. And I have a feeling I'm gonna hate Antoine, if only because I can't understand what he's saying with the lack of subtitles. I wish I had them, I really do. But yeah, it was a good episode. Not amazing. Eggman's plot was pretty generic. And Sally really annoyed me. But it was good action, at least.